Where's your soul, America? I question that on a daily basis. Where's your soul? As the countless children fade from this earth, when deaths leave communities shaken, yet every day it continues. I want to know where your soul is, America. For you are a genocide of a generation, Generation Zero.
Their high school principal told me I couldn't teach poetry with profanity, so I asked my students, raise your hand if you've heard of the Holocaust. In unison, their arms rose up like poisonous gas, then straightened out like an SS infantry. Okay, please put your hands down. Now raise your hand if you've heard of the Rwandan genocide. Blank stares. Mixed with curious ignorance, a quivering hand out of the crowd, halfway raised like a lone survivor, struggling to stand up in Kigali. Loose. Are you sure about that? No. That's what I thought. Carlos? What's genocide? They won't let you hear the truth at school if a person says fuck. Can't even talk about fuck even though a third of their senior class is pregnant. I can't teach an 18-year-old girl in a public school how to use a condom that will save her life and then of the orphan she'll be forced to give to the foster care system. Carlos, how many 13-year-olds do you know that are HIV positive? Honestly, none. But I do visit a shelter every Monday and talk with 6 12-year-old girls with diagnosed AIDS, while 4th graders 3 blocks away get little boys blowjobs during recess. I met an 11-year-old gang member in the South Bronx who carries a semi-automatic weapon in his study hall so he can make it home. You want me to censor my language, Carlos? What's genocide? Your books leave out Emmett Till and Medgar Evers. Call themselves world history and don't mention King Leopold, or diamond mines call themselves politics in the modern world and don't mention apartheid, Carlos. What's genocide? You wonder why children hide in adult bodies. Lie under light-color-eyed contact lenses, learn to fetishize the size of their ass, and simultaneously hate their lips. My students thought Che Guevara was a rapper from East Harlem. Still think my Mumia t-shirt is of Bob Marley. How can literacy not include Phyllis Wheatley's schools were built in the shadows of ghosts, filtered through incest and grinding teeth, molded in veils of extravagant ritual? Carlos, what's genocide? Rosalind, how old was she? ¿Cuántos años tuvo tu madre cuando se murió? My mother had 32 years when she died. Ella era bellísima. What's genocide? They've moved on from sterilizing Boricua women, injecting indigenous sisters with hepatitis B. Now they just kill mothers with silent poison, stain their loyalty and love in the veins and suffocate them. What's genocide? Ridwan's father hung himself from the box because he thought his son was ashamed of him. What's genocide? Maureen's mother gave her skin lightening cream the day before she started the 6th grade. What's genocide? She carved straight lines into her beautiful brown thighs so she can remember what it feels like to heal. What's genocide? What's genocide, Carlos? What's genocide, Luce? This right here is genocide.
America, where is your soul? Looking at Chicago's death rates, crime on the rise, 3-year-old boy shot by a stray bullet. Once again, Generation Zero cries out, where are those who's supposed to be the leaders? Who's supposed to make the street safer? Where are those who claim they do the will of God because this is a Christian nation, but the economy despises the poor? The economy does not lift us out of poverty. It leaves us more hungry. Hungry for success, hungry for an education, hungry for a scholarship that will free me from being in the prison of a neighborhood where I might lose my life. So I live recklessly. America, where is your soul? When you look back at the history of America, it has always oppressed those who they considered unworthy of the throne. Unworthy of the land. Unworthy of help. We were kings and queens of our own land. Then most of us immigrated to this country, hoping to offer a better future for the generations ahead. Some of us came over in chains and were sold as slaves to build the country. And even then, the people had a soul. Although you will whip us and beat us and try to extinguish the light of hope in us, we knew that sometime in the future, a generation will come that will be free to speak, and now it's censoring us. When we talk about the poverty in our community, the malt liquor in our stores, the violence in our community that you blame us for, but it is your police officers that forget to Mirandize them, that has no evidence to hold them, the judges who give them leniency after crime, after crime, after crime, because the jails are full, would have innocent men. And America think that's cool. We're number one in the world of citizens in jail. We stand number one in the sex slavery trade of young girls who are kidnapped and sold so that they will be raped and soon live a life of selling their bodies, not knowing what else to do, knowing that they will never see their home ever again. But these are unpolite conversation pieces. We shouldn't talk about racism, disease, or afflictions that are caused by the poverty of a community. We see AIDS clusters in the poor neighborhoods. African American women, 50% of them have herpes or some type of STD, but we are not supposed to speak of these. It is 50% likely that a young girl will be raped before she turns 18 or molested. But we can't speak of this. Once again, the Catholic Church responsible for another priest molesting a boy, a 15-year-old in Pennsylvania at the same college. Question in the rapes and molestation of boys in the shower by a former coach. How much has really changed? When we look at politics and those in the news who refuse to shine a light into our community and say, look at our poverty, look at the people who we believe are not worth anything, who we call outcasts that are not a part of society, we get a puff piece here and there, a spotlight on violence, like in Louisiana, New Jersey, Detroit, Chicago, New York, California, Florida. Not understanding when you push a man to so much poverty, he's going to fight back and begin to rob those who he believes is wealthy. When there is no father figure, our young boys, they are going to join gangs, find their way to a gun, become a man or a thug. Either way, because of our race, 50% of us will go to jail just for looking like someone they're looking for. Description vague. So you see someone walking down the street and you make him the perp. While the guilty run free in other races, never pulled over, never stopped, never questioned. So I say, where's your soul, America? Almost 200 years in existence, and you still haven't found a way to be passionate with your people. You rob and extort them. You make them work for minimum wage as slaves so that the rich can drive through and order a Big Mac and fries and look at you like an afterthought. Care less of what you go through and how you feel and what's going on behind closed doors. Teachers, knowing that they can't spend their time with each and every student, noticing that at least 25% of them can't read, but they're passed along because of their age. They have to buy their own materials because the school books are 2, 3, 4 years behind. But the school in the wealthy neighborhood has all kinds of programs, activities, and after-school sports. They are lavished with a swimming pool, NASA. We, citizens of America, ask the question, where's your soul? But every time you turn on the TV, there's some kind of disaster or tragedy. Where's your soul? When the kids of Newtown lost their lives, teachers trying to protect their students remind me of when I grew up in the inner city. The soul of America is a stain on the flag. Red, white, and blue. The red is the blood of those that run down a young girl's legs as she loses her value. Thinking about the Indians and how they were treated as we bullied our way into this country. and made it ours. As we begin to set up shop, we had the beautiful framework of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, but everybody wasn't free. Like the Roman Empire, some were conquered with love and gifts. Others were conquered with brute force and chained and made slaves. And eventually they became free. After they built up what they needed to build, expanding outward, their military became stretched, almost like ours. The government was warring with itself like ours. If you don't realize that we based our Senate and the culture of our government off of the Roman Empire itself, that was a mistake. It may ultimately be our demise. Because with social pressure of not having jobs and poverty throughout the Roman Empire, the citizens begin to rise up. There wasn't enough military to stop them. They had become awakened by faith. Christianity began to spread, but even the Christians drew blood from the Muslims for not believing that Jesus died on the cross. How hypocritical when they was the one who killed him, when they was the ones who beat him and scourged him and put a crown of thorns on his head and put him on the cross. Then they started killing people dead because of him. How hypocritical. Then the Catholics, who were selling rights to heaven as if they had ever been, biggest fraud in the history of men. And now they're guilty of taking little boys and turning them into toys. Pleasures of the priest. Not one gone to jail. They settled out of court when they should go to hell. Once again, I say the soul of America is black. As long as those who are rich get richer, they are the ones that enjoy the diamonds and the gold and the silver, the platinum, the cars, the houses, the planes. America is a show. If you watch TV, all you see is smiles, laughter, and games, sports. But you don't see behind the scenes those who struggle, those who hurt inside, those who have pain caused by our system, capitalism, the free market, fiat currency, the largest military in the world, the biggest budget for the military. We just watched $800 billion given to the banks, given to auto companies, but not one dime came to us. As if we didn't lose something in 2008. We was kicked off our jobs. we fought our lives to get. Factories shut down, restaurants closed, fast food giants became a little smaller, so they decided to go overseas to draw their money. Breaking ground at a rate that was like the speed of light. McDonald's all over. And yet, we must sit quietly in the night, hoping and praying that we don't die from a straight bullet, because when they shoot, there's no telling where the bullet will go. As I was raised as a young boy, bullets don't have no names. I was taught that our community would never change. Their way out was education. Being good at what you do, hoping and surviving, hoping that someone would give you a chance and make you into a success. But we can add America to genocide in the world. More of the poor die from poverty than anything else. We are picked on, viciously beaten by the cops, shot 41 times for pulling out their wallet. And you think a speech will make us feel better? For America is soulless, a zombie traveling through time. The ship is falling apart. It is sinking, and we are the ones dying. We are the ones fighting to hold on, hoping things will change. But the only change you want to do is let us walk around with a few pennies in our pocket. Now you trying to strip us of our unemployment, cut our food stamps. It's not bad enough that the middle class is the ones in line with us seeking food from the food bank. Shelters full that most families have to live in their car or find some safe place and sit and sleep on the cold, hard ground. When they remember that America has no soul. Well, the Republican Party willing to go to war with the Democrats, refusing to say it's about race, but these things have never been done before. They never asked any other president about their birth certificate or their college record. Never rebuked him like they do our president. Belittle his accomplishments, trying to make it seem like he hasn't made big strides to change. Now we see how racist our country is. The soul of America is stained with blood. The hands of each American that continues to allow these things going on becomes bloodier too. think if we lock the doors, close our windows, let the blinds down, set our alarms, that we don't have to do anything about this world? It is sad when a young boy dies, 17 years old, for a law that should never have been put in place. Stand your ground. Are you serious? So he has Skittles and Arizona tea. I'm pretty sure you can see that. But he lost his life and let the man go free. Come to find out, he started to beat his wife. Where's your soul, America? Because from where I'm standing, the soul of America has long gone. And they say we are the enemy, creating the homeland security. Where's our security? All the resources of the federal government so busy worrying about terrorism, we're dying on the street left and right. Generation Zero is forgotten. We have no rights. Not to the American dream, not to the hope of being the next president of the United States, or a congressman, or a senator. Y'all all are rich, deciding the fate of the poor and the weak and the disabled. And now you're about to push us out and close the door. This is the wrong generation to do that to. If you think that we're not paying attention, we are. The silence is our pain. As we get older, we become wiser. A movement is soon to come. Bet on that. A revolution that will be televised across the world. They shall see a city destroyed one by one until the country finally realizes they can't be ignored. And the ships shall be in the sea, saying, woe, woe, the great city, the great country of Babylon has fallen. And for those who believe it's not true, are blind as those who sit back and watch crimes happen outside their windows, never standing up to the bullies, having our children commit suicide because they know not how to fight, because they don't feel right, because their mother and father is so busy working to pay the bills that they don't have time to sit down and listen to you. Generation Zero, all of us are screwed. I wish I knew that America had a soul, because then my prayers will actually be heard.